Hey James, thanks for having me. So checking in, we last looked a week ago and we have dumped significantly since then. Fortunately, I was talking about the bearish position that I was in at that point. I have since covered a little bit too early, but it's still been a good week having that bearish position. We are at a point where we had a aligning of the stars with overextended charts, coronavirus fears, maybe a little bit of pricing in the potential of Bernie Sanders getting the Democratic nominee, and it led to one of the fastest or the fastest sell-off that we have ever seen in terms of speed of this pullback. The volume has been massive. The hourly time frame has been such a clear guide where every single bounce is just an hourly lower high being set, and all you got to do is wait for a loss of the 5-minute uptrend to see that hourly lower high being set, and then have some really nice bearish plays from there. So no sign of a meaningful bounce at this point. The bulls here would have to hold the low of the day and close up near the high of the day to try and see this hourly trend change take place. Until we see an hourly trend change, there is no trust in any of these bounce attempts. We are going to see very significant volume today, probably the highest volume day of the week in SPY. And what we've been saying in the MJ sector is what happens during market weakness. If the S&P 500 is running to all-time highs for months and the MJ sector is going down, what happens when the overall market goes down? Well, this is certainly an extreme version of that, but there's a lot of names that are hitting their multiple year lows in the MJ sector. The US MJ sector appears to be getting hit a little bit harder. Some names like CGC definitely hitting multiple month lows, but they do still have some support to back them up, considering we dumped all the way down to 1381 fairly recently. But a whole slew of new all-time lows, and the last time we had the best dip buying opportunity in the MJ sector was back when the S&P 500 dumped in at the end of December. This V-shaped recovery for the S&P 500 resulted in some of the MJ names, the US MJ names resulted in hundreds of percent moves, and Canadian MJ definitely benefited as well. So bulls are hoping that this is a reset button to try and get the correlation to begin to favor the bulls again between the S&P 500 and the marijuana sector, but it is certainly bleak out there. Seeing capitulation between holders who have been holding for years. These red bags are finally reaching their breaking point and saying that they want to ditch here and now. So SPY bears in full control, keeping in mind that even when we change the hourly trend for the first time, we're just going to zoom out and look for a daily lower high to be set on any bounce. Cron stood out yesterday for dip buying. Again, it dropped down and hit the lowest price that we've seen in years, but we can see today not a whole lot of follow through daily inside bar. Will there be opportunity on a bounce? Absolutely, but all of these bounces are just going to be looking for daily lower highs to form, and unless you are an experienced trader playing oversold bounces, there is not a lot of reason to be looking to get into the MJ sector as of right now. We can patiently be waiting for a daily trend change or a longer term time frame trend change to indicate any kind of shift in momentum, because right now it is absolute bear city in the market and the marijuana sector as a whole. So we are certainly expecting some market bounces in the near term future, but this is a falling knife scenario, and right now we're just looking at, is this going to be 2018 with a solid bounce opportunity, or is this going to be 2008? And we don't have enough information right now. We did hold monthly support on the S&P 500, and let's just look at SPX, which is the actual S&P 500. That's a double bottom. Our monthly higher low was 2855.94. The low of today, 2855.84. And if we can change the hourly trend off of these levels, it'll give a little bit of a glimmer of hope to the bulls. But again, that hourly trend change is just step number one. I appreciate you having me. We'll see you next time.